To start today's lesson. Okay, our today's lesson is about Android workbenches. Okay, and we want to see which are the available options for programming with Android. Programming with Android. I think I will look at so you can start by looking the anatomy of an Android app. Okay, yeah. You can see that Android applications are usually created using the Java programming language or Kotlin. And you'll find that your app will be made of multiple elements. Okay, it's not only one element that will be in your app. Okay, you'll have something like user-defined classes, you'll have third-party libraries, you'll have XML files, multimedia resources, data assets, and what have you. So you'll find that when you try to look at all the files in your app, there will be so many files. Okay, but then those files are usually combined to obtain a single signed and deployable Android package, a .apk file. Okay, so that .apk file, you can be able to deploy it. When we mean by deploying it, you can be able to upload it on Play Store so that the users can be able to install. Okay, yeah, so like classes in Java, APK files are the bytecode version of the app. So you'll find that I know you have not yet done Java, but you'll find that like I said last time, Java, one of the reasons why it made it very famous the first time it was developed was the ability to be able to install on any types of a system. Okay, yeah, that aspect where you could create one Java program and then you could run it on any device. You could run it on a TV, you could run it on a fridge, you could run it on a microwave, and so forth. So that's how Java programming language is. It's very portable. Okay, once you create a program, you can run it on any device. And so that was made. What made that capable was this is how it goes. When you create a program in Java, it's not usually converted to an executable file. Okay, or it's not usually translated into binary. Okay, what happens? It's translated into an intermediary we call bytecode. Okay, we call bytecode. So that bytecode, for it to be converted now to the machine language, it will need something you call a virtual machine. Okay, so you'll find that all devices that are to run Java programs, they must have a Java virtual machine installed in them. So now those bytecodes, they are the ones which are usually converted by the Java virtual machine into now a machine language or executable code. So that's why you'll find that you'll always need to install JVM in your machine for you to be able to run any Java program. But you'll find that almost all devices nowadays, they have Java in them. They come with Java installed. They come with JVM, what we are calling the Java virtual machine. So now you'll find that every time someone compiles a Java program, it's converted to .class files. Those .class files are what you are calling bytecodes. Okay, those .class files are what you call bytecodes. Then those bytecodes now, they are able to be interpreted or to be translated by a virtual machine to .exe or depending on which platform that program is being ran. So it's the same case with Android applications. Okay, so since you will be writing your code in Java, you'll find that the files that you write in Java, they usually end with .java. They usually end with .java. So those files, they will usually be converted to .dex. Okay, they will be converted, instead of being converted to .class, they will be converted to .dex. Okay, so .dex, they are smaller and easier to run as compared to .class when you are considering now an Android phone. Okay, so those .dex now they can be converted to native code, or they can be converted to machine language by this program we are calling Android Runtime Engine, ART. Okay, so you'll find that every device comes with Android Runtime Engine. So that's how your application goes. Okay, you write your application in Java, then it's converted to .dex, which are packaged into a .apk file. That .apk file contains bytecodes. Those bytecodes now can be interpreted by Android Runtime Engine. So the only thing that we need now on a mobile phone for it to be able to run our program is this engine we are calling ART, which was previously a Dalvik virtual machine. So like we said, initially we were using Dalvik virtual machine, but all the devices from Android 5 and above, now they use ART, Android Runtime. Okay, and the reason why Android Runtime engine was introduced, it's to enhance performance, considering that, like I've said, you'll find that mobile phones have constrained resources. Okay, so it improves performance in such a way that it can allow you to run many instances of an application at a time. So it also enables better debugging facility, improved garbage collection. So now, like you are saying now, when you are setting up or when you are creating your application, you need to be aware which is your target device. But I think I mentioned that last time. You need to know which devices are you targeting. Okay. So yeah, so the SDK, they usually have numbers, or the SDK have numbers maybe from 1 all the way to 29. Okay, and they also have names. They also have a coordinate, but I think I talked about that last time. So now the SDK that you choose determines how many devices can be able to access your application. So which workbenches or development environments can you use? You have three options for Android application. You can either use Eclipse with the ADT plugin. You can also use Android Studio, and you can also use NetBeans plus Android. Okay, though nowadays this one has been it's no longer in use. Okay, that is it's outdated. Okay, so that means we are left with two options, either Eclipse or Android Studio. Okay, yeah. This is how Eclipse looks. Then this is how Android Studio is expected to look. So there are some slides there which are explaining how you can set up Eclipse. But in our case, I think we said we'll use Android Studio because it's the official IDE for developing Android applications. So those lines just explain how you can set up Eclipse. Just going to skip them. It's going to go to setting up Android Studio. So, but basically when you're setting up Android Studio, the first thing you need to is to obtain the setup file. Then you'll install the file. Then something else you're supposed to install on top of that is a virtual device. Okay, you're using the AVD manager. I'm going to scroll through. Also using Android Studio, if you are using a physical device to test your application, so long as you have enabled debugging on your device, you can be able to explore the files inside that inside that device. I think I will be showing you that now. You can also be able to transfer files from the emulator, that is from your phone, or from the emulator to your machine. But that one has been made quite easy, the Android Studio. So now I just want us to, assuming that everyone, most of us already have the Android Studio installed, I would want us to look at the different, or how to move around, how to navigate around the Android Studio. So we can start by looking at what Android Studio is. You can see that it's an integrated development environment. And when we mean by integrated development environment, we mean that you get everything you need to develop your application at one point. Okay, you can think of it like a mall, where you are able to get everything you need under one roof. That's what we mean by an IDE. Okay, there you have the text editor, you have the designer, you have the the compiler, you have the debugger and everything. Okay, yeah. It also, Android Studio also comes with project and activity templates. Okay, yeah. So for example, if you want to add a navigation on your app, there is no need of reinventing the wheel. There is a template. If you want to add a map on your application, there is already a template that comes with Android Studio. We just need to select it. Then we have the layout editor. Okay, the layout editor, it helps you using drag and drop. You can be able to create your layouts very easily. It also comes with some testing tools. Okay, yeah, and testing tools. There's someone who was asking me, why do I need to write code and then write another code to test whether the code I wrote earlier is working properly? But nowadays, according to the current trend in the market, you can't create an app. If you create an application that doesn't have tests, then probably not so many people will be able to trust that application. Because how can we be sure that your application is working as it's required? Okay, so you find that Android Studio comes with the testing tools. Then you have Gradle based build. Okay, and Gradle is an application which helps. Which works in a number of ways, but it helps in building. It helps in building your application, or basically converting your source code. Perpetual is saying the screen is blank. Can anyone be able to see anything from the other screen? Let me just try to check. I think Vincent, the rest, it looks okay. So most probably, Perpetual, you can try refreshing your browser. So I was talking about Gradle, okay, and Gradle makes it very easy for you to compile. Building is the same thing as, we could say, like compiling your application. Okay, that involves even packaging and what have you. Okay, so you'll be able to work with the Gradle. You have the one for the module, and in this case, when I talk about module, I mean a subdivision. It's a subdivision of your application. Okay, yeah. So Gradle helps with a lot. Apart from building your application, it can help you. For example, you write the source code once, but build different applications depending on which devices they will be installed on. Okay, Yeah, so it also helps you reuse your code. You can very easily reuse your code. Maybe you wrote some code in one application, and you think you can import it in another in an application that you're currently working on. Grandu makes it easy for you to do that. Okay, yeah. And then we have the log console. The log console, what it does is it's supposed to show everything that is happening in your application. For example, if I created an application and then it's running on my phone, it's running on my Android phone, I'll be able to see when I navigate, it will be uh, it will be echoed or it will be outputted on my console. Then you have the debugger, and what the debugger helps you is it helps you find create some breakpoints where there is an error. If there is an error in your code, you can be able to see it and be able to remove that error easily. So that's what the debugger does. Okay, and where you have now for the debugger, you can have the inline one, or you can have the one which after your application has already completed. So you'll find that as you'll be writing your code, if you write any line and it has an error, it will be able to underline it in red, or it will highlight it to show that there is an error, and it can even give you suggestions of how to remove that particular error. So at the same case, Android Studio comes with some emulators, okay, that you can choose from. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I think we can you can try to look at how you can navigate around your Android Studio. I think I have a better image that can help us see the main window. Hope that one is visible enough. You don't need to zoom it. So you'll find that I've identified like six different tools, toolbars, 6 different bars in your Android Studio. And then I just want us to look at what each of them does. So number one is the toolbar. This one here, the one labeled number one, the one which is running from this end to this end. This is a toolbar, and it has a number of commands. It has a number of commands, including running your application, launching Android tools, and what have you. So these are commands that you can be able to click on directly for doing the various things in your application. Then you have number two, this one here, which is the navigation bar. Okay, and this one allows you to navigate in your project files, around your project files. For example, this one, whatever you're showing on the screen, it says now I'm in main activity, which is contained in my application. My application is contained in example, com, Java, main, and what have you. So if I wanted to go back all the way to main, I just click here. Okay, to take me back there. Then we have number three. Number three, this is the editor window. This is where you'll be typing your code. Number three. I hope we can also be able to follow from your. Okay, but I think. Okay, yeah. So this is the editor. This is where you edit your code. This is where you type in your code. Number three. Then number four, this one. This is the tool window bar. The tool window bar runs all the way around. You can see it's the one which is running from here down. It goes across, then up. Okay, so this is the tool window bar, and it contains a number of tool windows. Okay, it contains a number of tool windows. Okay, for example, you can see up here we have the project tool window. We have the structure tool window. We have the next one. We have favorites. We have build variants. We have messages. We have terminal. We have Android monitor. You have Android monitor and what have you. Okay, yeah. Then now to be able to show or hide a window, in this toolbar, in this window toolbar, you just need to click it, and it will be visible. I think I can try to share my screen so that you can see that one in action. But I think let me just explain first, then I will be able to show you in the real application. But what I'm saying is you can be able to hide or show all of these tool windows. Remember, these are windows, all of these. Once you can see here, can be able to show or hide them by clicking on them. Then number five, okay, number 5 is also tool windows. Those are tool windows which are have already been shown. They are not hidden. Then number 6 is the status bar. Okay, and the status bar is supposed to display the status of your project and the IDE itself. Okay, so here it's where you'll be. It will also be showing any warnings or any messages from your project or your IDE. For example, it can be displayed here. Maybe you have opened a virtual device, ran successfully. Yeah, so this is where you get the notifications or some messages and warnings from your project or the IDE itself. Okay, yeah. Then now I want us to see how do we go about now creating an application in Android Studio. I'm going to switch to my second presentation here. Remember, all of these are presentation. You can be able to view them from Android Developers Guide, from Google Developers Training. You can be able to view all these. You can even be able to look ahead. So, creating your first Android app. So the first thing you'll do is you open your Nini and then you click on Start a New Android Studio project. I think I can share my screen so that you can see that in action. Hope you can be able to see my screen. So currently there is already a project that is open. I just close that project first. So to close this project, I just click on File. Then I'll select Close Project. And then now we'll have this screen. So now to create a new application, you click on Start a New Android Studio project. I'll click on Start a New Android Studio project. Okay, and then it brings something that looks like this. Okay, then there is a number of options. Okay, you can see there is a basic activity, there is empty activity, bottom navigation activity. So we have some templates here. Okay, so if you already know how your application will look like, you can select one of the templates Okay, yeah, but now to create a fully custom application, we are going to click on empty activity. We are going to select empty activity. So I'll select empty activity and then I click on next. Okay. Then I'll give my application a name. Maybe I can call it Hello. Can call it Hello App. You can change the package name. Okay, where the first part you're supposed to include the domain of your organization. For example, ztech.ac.ke. But for now, you can leave it like that. You can select where you want to save your app or your project files. You can change that, but now for now you can leave it as it is. Then you can select the language here. So, and you have two languages to choose from. You can choose either from Kotlin or Java. For example, maybe I could choose Kotlin. Okay. Then here you're supposed to select the minimum SDK. Okay, depending on the devices you want to run your application. For example, if I selected the API 29, it will tell you that your app will run on approximately 8.2% of devices. Okay, so that means over 90% of devices will not be able to access your application. So maybe I could choose something like Android 5. I think most users, most phones have Android 5 and above. Then I can click on finish. Just click on finish after I've configured those. I hope we are together. Remember here you can choose the language Java or Kotlin. Okay, yeah. So maybe for your informative, you can select Java. And then I'm going to click on finish. Computer has a small problem. Let me try to handle it. Just want to share the screen so that you can be able to see how, after you've created the app, how it's going to appear. Hope you are able to do that. Hope everyone has been able to. You can see Esther is saying it's not clear. Hope you have been able to create an application. For those who have Android Studio installed, I hope you have been able to create the application. You can try to navigate around the application. So after I click finish, this is what you're supposed to see. Supposed to see something like that. You'll find that it has created for you 2 files by default. It has created the main activity and activity main.xml. Going to try to see, and I use the presentation mode. It can be more visible. Oops. Has everyone opened as everyone has an open application? I hope everyone has an open application. Just trying to handle a small issue here. I don't know whether my screen is visible enough. Can you be able to see my screen clearly? So I think we can try to look at this screen. Yeah. So for example, so we have our toolbar here. Is our toolbar, the different tools. Okay, let me try to zoom in. Hope it's better now, Vincent. I think I'll have to share my entire screen so that I can be able to zoom in. Yeah, so like I was saying, when you after you have created your after you have clicked on the finish button, this is what you are going to see. Okay, I think I mentioned the various logical areas, the logical areas in your application. Okay, you have the menu bar on top here. Here we have the navigation. You have the navigation bar here. For example, when I click on here, it will show me all the files inside that folder, and I can be able to switch in between the files. Okay, yeah. The same case with that. So this one is for navigating around your, for example, I can be able to open the XML file. Okay, from the navigation, I can even go back. To main, select Java. Okay, till it's giving me a shortcut here for navigating around my project files. Then here we have our toolbar. Okay, we have the various tools here. Example, you can see when you bring the mouse pointer over any tool, it will tell you what that tool does. Same case here, it will tell you what tool that is. Then here is where we have now our tool windows bar. Okay, I can be able to hide or show. For example, I can show the project window. Okay, I can show the project window, and I'll see now my project files. Okay, yeah, I can be able to show maybe let me see. I can show the terminal. Terminal is the CMD. Okay, you can see the CMD there. If I want to hide it, I click on it again. They'll be hidden. Want to see the build window? I click on it. They'll be shown. Okay, I can click on it to hide. If I want the log cut, the same way. If I want to do the same way. Okay, yeah. So we also have other tool windows. We have maybe device file explorer. So this one will help you see the files inside your connected device. Right now, I have not connected any device, but I try to connect my phone in a while. Then we have another tool window here called Grando. This one will tell you any information about Grando and what have you. So I can also click on it again to hide. Okay. Then here is where you edit your code. You can see I have opened 3 files at the same time in my editor window. Okay. Yeah, I have main activity, Android.manifest. Okay, so here I can be able now to edit. This is my editor. Okay, if the file that I've opened, it's about if it's an activity I've opened or the interfaces, it will also show some other windows. Okay, it will show, for example, this one shows the palette. The palette is where you can click the different widgets or layout and drop them here. Okay, yeah, can be able to switch the views, be able to switch to split view or the code view. If I click on design view, it gives me a design window where I can drag and drop my components here. If I click on split view, the second one here, it will show me both the code and the design. See the code here, as well as the design. Can click on the palette to show them the different tools. Can click on it again to hide. Okay, so we have a number of commands on top here. Okay, that you will find some use when you're designing your application. Brian is asking, how do you set Grando offline? I think we'll look at that in a while. They just want us Just want us to first look at the anatomy of our application. Anyone who doesn't know how to navigate now around Android Studio, who doesn't know how to navigate around Android Studio, who doesn't know what the different components you are seeing here, how to access them, and what have you.
The second one is the timing. The other column is on the extent. The other one is the estimate. On the front procedure, we describe what we call like the first procedure given there is inquire whether the bank configuration are there. Not what we carry out. We have to then the only consideration of the time when shall be done to then what extent shall you carry out this
So you can navigate around the different components. You can check the settings here.
So you check the then what the time the time is when what is the look December who will be responsible for it? What is an example of
Just a second, I'll try to look on that at that.
something similar what we share. So I can see that and she now has maybe something in mind that she hears of she cannot do this. So I don't talk about and you look at the problems in the or the implementing of it's when you come up with but sometimes the only and what example is programs when we are coming out, when we are coming and also when we are implementing the project. Number one is that how can you have really
you're trying to look at how you navigate around the Android Studio, and someone has asked about accessing the palette. Okay, and for you to be able to do that, the first thing it depends on what file is open. Depends on what file is open here. Make sure that the file that is open is activity main or it's a .xml file. .xml files are for the layouts or for the interfaces. Yeah, for the interfaces. Okay, then the palette is usually docked by default. Okay, so to display it, you just click on it. Okay, and you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see the different tools which are usually they're usually grouped. Okay, yeah. So for example, you can see there is common. For common, you are able to see all of these. Okay, I think we can try to expand to this one a little bit. You can switch how many windows you want to see here. For example, I'm only choosing the blueprint. You can see both design and the blueprint if you want. Okay, yeah. Or you can only decide to show you can see both of them, or you can decide to show only the design. Remember, I said both those of two windows there. Just the difference, I think, is only the background. Don't see they have. Don't think they have another difference. Then you can be able to, if you select on text, you'll see a different category or a different widgets here. Okay, yeah. So that's how you access the palette. Just clicking here, it will be minimized. If you click on it again, it will be maximized. Then Brian was asking about how to set Grando to offline mode. Okay, so it depends with which version of Android Studio you are using. Okay, yeah. So for those who are using Android Studio 3.6 and below, you can be able to get it from the settings. If you go to just a second. Okay. Yeah, so like I was saying, you can be able to get it from you click on file, then you select settings, then you click on, you expand build, execution, and deployment, then you select on Grando. Okay, so if it was if it was on an earlier version which is below 3.6, so for the latest brand, but I think I needed to explain both cases. You should be able to see a checkbox like that looks like this one. Should be able to see a checkbox that looks like this one, which allows you to enable offline mode. But since I'm using the latest, the other way you can be able to access it is expand the Grando tool window. Are we together, Brian? You show the Grando window. Then among these tools on the top here, there is this one. Okay, if I bring my cursor there, we can be able to see it showing me toggle offline mode. So if you want to use offline mode or to turn it off, you click on it. Okay, so if right now the offline mode is enabled. If I want to disable it, I click on it again to disable the offline mode. Hope you are together, Brian.
Various clients will require number of staff, also the number of students, and also based on how complex and how easy the audit will be. The more complex the audit will be, the more the number of audit staff and the more experience staff will be required. But for a simple an easy audit will require this number of staff and this experience.
Are we together on that? Yes. Then if you want to, like I've said, if you want to show or hide a tool window, you just click on it. For example, I click on to do, it will be shown. If I want to hide it, I click on it again. But if I want to hide the entire toolbar window, I click on this icon here. Hope you can be able to see that. I click on that icon that looks like a window. This icon that looks like a window. I just need to click it once. It will hide. It will hide the entire tool window bar. They'll hide the entire tool window bar. If I want to show it again, I click on it and I'll be able to see the entire tool window bar. Also, you can be able to view more windows from the view. If you click on view, tool windows, you'll be able to select the different tool windows. Appearance, you can be able to change the different appearance. For example, if you changed maybe you messed around with how your window with how your Android Studio appears, and always go back to you can always revert to the default by clicking on window, restore default layout. Okay, if you want to, maybe you messed up with the layout of Android Studio and you want to restore to the default one, you can go to window and select restore default layout. Then when you're typing your code, you'll find that Android Studio has usually something we call code completion. For example, here, maybe I wanted to add something like an edit text box. Or maybe a text view. It always shows you some suggestions that you can click on to autocomplete. Also in Android Studio, you can be able to find some sample code. Okay, you can be able to find some sample code. And to do that, you just need to go to File. If you want to maybe get some sample code, I think I'm going to show my project window. I think I'll show you how you can navigate around the various, if you want to access some samples. But I think, okay, but before that, we can try to look at what is contained in your project. If you try to show the project tool window, there is a drop down here. Okay, so you can be able to select the different versions of your project. For example, if you select Android, it will show you two folders where you have just a second. Brian, what do you want me to repeat? Oh, so for restoration part to restore, you just click on window, then restore default. Just click on the window from the menu bar. Just select window from the menu bar, then select restore default layout. Just in case you messed up with the layout of your Android Studio. You can always go to window, then restore layout.
increase user confidence in the data quality and issue. But we say that when you have indicated that someone else checked what you did, people will have more confidence with what you have presented. We have reliable information better than when it is only one thing go in.
We are okay there.
One is that it enhances the status and the image of the accounts to the public. It's when you done the peer review, the status and the image of the accounts to the members of the public will be enhanced because people tend to trust more.
So now to, like I was saying, find some sample code. Okay, Android Studio usually comes with some sample code. So to find that some sample code, you can always go to File, can open File, then select New, then Import Sample. Okay, Import Sample. If you select on Import Sample, you can be able to search any code sample you want, or probably you can be able to click on Browse Source in GitHub to view some samples of codes that you can use in your project. Some samples of codes that you can use in your project.
Then we also have the reasons of one is
That window is not visible. Let me just try to share my entire screen. So if you click on Browse Code in GitHub, you'll be able to see different. It will open GitHub on your browser, and you'll be able to see some sample codes that has been created by Google. Okay, you'll be able to see some sample codes, or you can search depending on what you want. So to browse code samples, like Patrick has asked, you just go to File, click on File, you click on File, New, click on File, New, then select Import Sample. You click on File, New, then Import Sample. Click on File, New, then Import Sample. It will give you that where you can be able to search some code. For example, if I wanted a Bluetooth audio, I can browse the code on GitHub. I'll click on this button to view the code on GitHub. Okay, and then you can be able to use it with your application. You can even search any code that you want. Okay. And be able to search any code that you want there, and it'll tell you where to find that particular code. Okay, and that one can help you when you're building your applications. Vincent is asking if maybe you didn't enable import during the installation will it affect the import sample process. Well, remember, like all the settings that you did when you're installing your IDE, they can always be changed. They can always be edited. Yeah. So if you need to edit anything, you can always go to settings here. Okay, you can always go to you can always go to settings from the file button. Okay, if you go to settings, you'll be able to change anything that maybe you think you didn't set it correctly during an installation. If it needs to download anything extra, it will download it. So I think that one shouldn't be a problem. So I think we can look at the project structure now. You can see how your project is structured. If it's okay with everyone, you can look at how your project is structured. Okay, and to see the structure, I'll show the project tool window. If I show the project tool window, this is the project tool window here. Then on top here, where it's written Android, okay, make sure you have selected Android. Then inside here, inside Android, there is a app and there is a Grando scripts. Okay, so for Grando scripts, you don't need to change anything there. You're just supposed to leave them. But now, maybe unless you want to change some test settings, maybe you want to import some dependencies. You want to add some dependencies on Grando script, but I think we can look at it. Okay, so for Grando scripts, you will find two of them. There is build.grando for the project, and there is build.grando for the module. Okay, yeah, if you want to change for the whatever you're working on, always change the settings for the module. Avoid changing the settings for changing the settings for the project. You can always change them here, and so that for the Grando, it tells us how now your application will be built. But now your application files are contained in this app folder. I think we can click on that app folder. And inside here, you're going to see the first folder is manifests. So for the manifest folder, it contains, hope you can all see manifest folder. If we expand by clicking on the arrow just against the name, you'll only find the Android manifest.xml. Okay, and Android manifest only contains information about your project. It contains information about your project. Okay, such as the application name. Okay, allow backup, the icon for your project. So if you want to change the icon, you can always go to XML. It also selects which interface will be loaded by default, which is the first interface the first screen that will be loaded. You all set that in manifest file. Then you have another folder here called Java. Okay, and this is where all the code that you write in Java, it will be found here. Okay, when I open mine, I'm seeing 3 folders. Okay, the first one doesn't have any additional information in bracket. The second one has Android test, and the third one has test. So these 2 folders, the ones below them, those ones are just for testing your application. So those are not, you don't mess with them. So you just open the first one, and you'll see, for example, in my application, I only have 1 Java file, okay, which I can open. Okay, and you see there is Java code in here. Okay, so this one will only contain Java files. The Java folder will only contain Java files. Then you have the resources. the rest. So the rest, that one contains everything that is not code, any non-code resources. Okay, that is anything else that is not Java code will go inside the resources folder. For example, I can see there is the drawables. Okay, yeah. So the drawables, that one is for the images. We have the layout. For the layout, this is where you'll put your screens, screens, or what you call the activities. You'll put all your activities here. We have values. Values are these ones. It will contain any external resource on your page. For example, color, strings, styles, CSS styles. They will be contained in this folder. Yeah, and so those are the three folders that you'll find in your app, in your Android app. So you can also change here where there is Android. You can also remember these the way they are visible here. It's not the way you'll see them in the project folder. Okay, the project folder has different folders, but these ones are the ones for your application. For example, I can change the view here. I can select project. If I select project instead of Android, I'll see a different set of files. Okay, I see a different set of files where most of your files will be composed inside app src main. Okay, so that this is a different view of your project structure. It's a different view of your project structure, and this is how it is in your hard disk. In your hard disk, it's in this format. Okay, in your hard disk, it's in that format. But now the ones that you'll be interacting with, you just select the Android. Yeah, and it gives us a simpler structure. Okay, you can also focus on problems only. If I select instead of Android, I select problems, it will only show me the files that have errors. It will only show me the files that have errors. So you can decide now from here, you can be able to focus on a specific aspect of your app development. Okay, if I only wanted to concentrate on non-source files, they can be shown from there. I'll only be seeing files which are not Java, which are not in Java. If I only want to focus on Java files here, I'll just do the same, and I'll only see the Java files here. So you can go back to the Android. So now, like I've said, if it's a layout, the layouts go inside the res or resources folder, layout. So these are screens. For example, I have opened activity main. Okay. So here I can edit this screen either by drag and drop or by using XML code. By using XML code, you can be able to switch between the different views here. Okay, you can change to. Remember, every time when you hover over any command, they tell you what that command is. Okay, I can choose to only view the code. I can choose to only view the design without the code, or I can choose to view both the design and the code. Remember, Android Studio makes it easy for you. Makes it easy for you so that you can be able to develop actually it encourages, instead of using the code, it encourages you use the drag and drop. You use the design. You use the design. So for example, I can even I can move some components around. The way I arrange them here, it's that's how they'll appear on my final screen. So to add any component on my on my designer, I just need to click, drag and drop where I want it to appear. Okay, and it will be added. Just a matter of drag and drop. Okay, so you can be, it's very easy for you to design your application in Android Studio. You made it that friendly. So you can see they have been able to create some few interfaces, or some few, we have been able to add some few widgets on my design or on my application. So now how do you run your application? So to run your application, you choose which device you want to run it on. Okay. In this case, I assume either you have installed a virtual device or you have connected a physical device. Okay. You can click on Open AVD Manager if you don't have a virtual device there. Okay. For my case, I already have one here. Maybe I can also try connecting my device and see whether it will be visible there. You can give me a second to do that. Just get my USB cable. Yeah, so we'll end it there for today. Have a nice lunch and all the best.